I'll give a couple, a bit of a walkthrough over classifications. There's a lot here, but I think if in your installation, you should only see a few. In particular, you should see unit class and omni class, which is somewhere in this list. Oh, beats me where this is. Here it is. Here's unit class. Found one of them. And if you click that, it will load up the unit class classification system, which you can dig into it. So let's say you want to apply this as a product, as a whatever, formless skin, doesn't really matter. Let's say this is a piece of expanding foam. You can click assign classification, which will assign it in as a classification reference, and you can see it in there. And so sometimes projects will require you to have classification data using a particular system. Uniclass is quite popular. OmniClass is another popular one. There is an online repository which hosts a whole bunch of classification systems over here. So if your country uses one of these, you can just load it into BlenderBIM, and that extracts it out of, again, the data file in schema classifications, and it's all in here. Now, classifications have a hierarchy. So you can see here that I'm going in and out of this hierarchy. But when you store it in an IFC, many BIM programs don't store the full hierarchy. They flatten it. And sometimes that's what you want, sometimes that's not what you want. So whenever you import a file, so for example, if I go and import this file from Revit, I can see what classifications it has brought in, and project 2, this one, it's brought in this particular classification. Again, there's too many in here. So what it does is every time you import a file, it actually loads all the classifications and adds it to this list. As a result, you get a mess like you see in front of me right now. But there it is, project 2 recovery, because that was the name of my IFC file. You can see that it's loaded all of the classifications as a flat list. There's no hierarchy. And that's because that's what Revit does. It stores what's called a lightweight classification, not the full hierarchy. You can see the details of the classifications which it's imported. Uniclass, Uniformat, and ASA. There's 3 classification systems stored in this IFC file. As is quite typical of Revit, it's missing a huge amount of information, so that's a pity. But if you use the ones that come with the BlenderBIM add-on, all of these fields, or most of these fields, should be filled out with useful information. And similarly, a particular object, if I scroll down, there should be classification references, and I can see that this particular wall has 2 classification references assigned to it, both under the Uniclass classification system. It has an EF 2510 and an SS25.